Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Jetlag Life. Today, the episode is super juicy. Actually, it's just kind of sweet, super sweet, but there's some funny in it as well. It's the story Engaged in Greece, where, as you may have guessed it, I'm telling you guys all about Seth proposing to me, my now husband proposing to me in the unrealistic, extraordinarily beautiful island of Paros, Greece. All right, let me go ahead and set the picture. Seth and I planned a 2-month trip to Greece first and then to Italy. Now, we had been to Rome before. We'd never been to Greece. So we flew into, naturally the big city, the hub, Athens, Greece. A lot of people asked me when I got back and when we were engaged, spoiler, I said yes. When we got back, a lot of people have asked me, like, did you know? Did you think? And honestly, guys, no. I didn't. I went into this trip not even thinking that could have been a possibility. I was more excited. I was most excited to be traveling to my top of the bucket list at my time, Greece, with the love of my life. That in and of itself was quite the treat. And that's what I was focused on. Thinking back, I should have thought, I should have known, but I didn't. And I think that helped with the surprise. But so we get in Athens, Greece. We're only there for a couple of nights. And then we go straight to the islands, which if you don't know, Greece is kind of it's the mainland. And then I think it's hundreds of islands that you can get to via ferry, plane, speedboat, whatever it may be. But the Greek islands are just pristine. If you're like me and you watched the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants when you were younger and you have that obsession for Greece because of that movie, do yourself a solid, do your young self a solid, and visit Greece because your dreams will come true. Anyway, that's what it was for me. So we're in Athens and it's just one night. Actually, fun fact about the place that we stayed in Athens, it was an Airbnb. It was a beautiful Airbnb, 2-story with a balcony. It was like $80 a night or something crazy. Well, it was $80 a night because it was about a block away from a nightclub that, I kid you not, played the loudest club bass music, party music, until 6 a.m. And Seth's a light sleeper, and he was so pissed off. I could kind of sleep through it, but sometimes I'd wake up and it'd just be like, wow, okay. So okay. So anyway, one of those nights I was looking for a pair of Seth's boxers to wear because I like a fit of them. And I go into his suitcases. I'm like, hey, Seth, yelling to him, Seth, can I borrow a pair of boxers? Yeah. And so I go in, I see them. So I just go in and grab the boxers. Later, I found out he was hiding the engagement ring in his sock. And his sock is right next to his boxers in his packing cube. So, but no worries, crisis averted. I got the boxers and didn't accidentally propose to myself, which it did not matter to me. I would have said yes right then and there. But Seth, being the beautiful, absolutely incredible genius that he is, he wanted to wait till we went to the Greek island setting, to where it was just beautiful whitewashed walls and the cobblestones and just romantic, and gotta love him for that. But I did almost accidentally find the ring because it was so close to the boxers. But after Athens, we went right to Paros, and that is when it happened. The day of the proposal. So we got there the first day. We had a beautiful time. The second day, I actually lost my recently deceased then grandmother's earring. So I got some of her earrings when she had passed, and I lost one of them. And that night took a turn for a meltdown. I guess I had been kind of bottling up her loss, losing my grandmother. I kind of been bottling it up, and I just let it all out, and that earring really pushed me over the edge. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back, and I just had a breakdown. And Seth told me later, of course, that was going to be the night that he proposed. But I lost the earring and I could never get it back. We walked the path and then the sun started to set and it became really tough. But there are hundreds of people that go to Paros and walk the same path that we walked. So really it was slim chances of finding that. Those are some of my favorite pairs of earrings to date still. But anyway, so that day was a meltdown. And then it was the next day. We had decided to take a trip to Nausa, which is like the old port of Paros. It's a beautiful town. You probably see a lot of Instagrammers go there. We were staying kind of in the new town on the southwest part of the island, I think is what it is. So we took a trip to Nausa via bus. Seth was being weird, like to the point where I was sitting there and I was thinking like, what is going on? Like, what am I feeling right now? Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, why is he making me feel this way towards him? Kind of just like off-putting. Like, he was weird. I'm trying to tell you, like, he was weird. He was nervous, Olivia. I now tell myself. He knew I was going to say yes, but still, it's big step for a guy, big step for a couple. And so we get back to town. And by this time, with the sea salt and just the wind, the rocks, my nails were messed up. Okay, we'd been in Greece for I think about a week at this time, and the gel that I had gotten started lifting. And if you know anything about getting gel on your nails, if the base near the cuticle isn't set right, it starts to lift, and anytime you touch your hair and run your fingers through your hair, it yanks the hair. I hate that. I actually don't get gel anymore because I get so annoyed. It also like destroys my nails, but I don't get gel anymore because it really is just like, it's so annoying to get my hair yanked out when I just am trying to live my life. So because of this, I needed to get my nails done. So when Seth had encouraged me, I did not see anything out of the ordinary, but I'm so glad that he did encourage me because my nails looked great. But going to the salon was an experience in and of itself. So I walk into the salon. It's very tiny. It's just like one room. There are 3 pedicure setups and like 2 manicurist setups. I go to this woman, the woman in there, by one of the manicurist things. I said, "Hi, I'd like to get my nails done." And she's like, "Yes, you need to make an appointment." And I'm like, "Oh, wait, like I'm leaving tomorrow. Like we're leaving Paros tomorrow. We're going to a different island. Like that's not going to work." I'm thinking to myself, and that's not going to work. So I'm like, "Oh, do you have anything today? Like we leave tomorrow. Do you have any appointments today by chance?" And she just looks at me and she goes, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "We might have a cancellation. Check with Spiros. Go to see Spiros." And I'm like, "Okay, Spiros, let's do it." Spiros was working the desk, and I want you to picture Stanley Tucci, because that is exactly what this guy looked like. He looks up at me. He's got those little tiny glasses on. "You need to make an appointment." I'm like, "Yes, do you have anything today by chance? We leave tomorrow. I need today, just nail polish." He looks down at this book, which he slaps open, runs his finger down, pointer finger down all the way to the bottom of the page. And this man looks up at me through his brow and he goes, "Oh, you're very lucky." And I'm like, "I am?" And he's like, "One moment." He goes, runs, confer with the other lady who I was talking to first, comes back, and he's like, "We had a consultation." He grabs me by the wrist, pulls me, and sits me down in this chair. "Here, go." And I'm like, "We're going. We're doing it. Let's get these nails done." It was a different like method that she did, but ultimately I got this beautiful like sky baby blue, which it was perfect. And it's a good thing I did that because of what happened next. Now, getting ready for dinner, I truly had I didn't think that Seth was going to propose. I didn't even have that in my mind until he suggested we get ready in separate rooms. He wanted to get ready in the bedroom, and I would close the door and get ready in the bathroom. I'm doing my makeup. I'm looking slay. And I think when I open that door, he's going to be down on one knee, and he's going to propose to me. And that would have been incredible. But I open the door, and he's just laying on the bed. Okay, so I'm like, all right, well, there goes that. And then next thing we know, we're walking around Paros, which you can get lost in the beautiful, just little streets and little alleyways that are just covered in gorgeous. What are those pink flowers? Bougainvillea. Those pink, beautiful pink flowers. They're everywhere on trees all over there. And then there's greenery as well, but the streets just are absolutely beautiful. And if you've not been to Greece, you've got to go. That is like one of my top recommendations of places to visit, that in Italy. But we're walking around and just doing cute little videos, Seth's suggesting, which is no different from our daily life, right? Because as a travel content creator, you've kind of got to record your life. So we're just getting videos. And what I don't realize is he's scouting out locations. He's putting the phone down and seeing how they capture on camera, because he knows this is going to be a moment that we're going to live through forever and have a video of, because Seth is sneaky and he wanted to record the proposal. Props to him. Well done, Seth. So we finally find a place and Seth keeps putting his phone down. We get a couple different videos at a couple different angles. And then I knew. I didn't know, but I knew. He told me to face the wall and he would come around behind me and it'd be like a cute little video. Something in me, and I'm a very curious person. So I don't know what got into me. Well, this is why I think I slightly knew, but I didn't really. I couldn't say with confidence. I just faced the wall and I didn't turn around, which went against my natural way of doing things. Like, of course, I wanted to turn around, but I just didn't. And so I stood at the wall. He came up behind me. He spun me around and then he got down on one knee and we got the entire thing on camera. It actually went like mini viral. A couple proposal pages shared it just because he did pick a fantastic spot and it was just a beautiful Greek summer proposal. We're both tan in that, and it's just we're going out to dinner after. So we looked so good. We looked so nice. And he got down on one knee and he asked me to marry him. And of course I said, shut up first. And then it sunk in and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, hell yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And so we went out to dinner that night. We actually had pizza. Very on brand for us, pizza and an entire bottle of wine to celebrate. And it was just the most beautiful waterside seating that we sat in and just watched the sunset, which went on, it like finally settled at like 9:30. The colors stopped popping. And I mean, there is nothing more romantic than a Greek sunset. The ring itself took my breath away. Could not believe that I deserved something so incredibly beautiful. I think it's still to date the most incredible thing I own, the nicest thing I've owned, the nicest thing I've ever owned. Every single time I look at my ring, I feel the warmth of Paros. I feel the excitement, the butterflies, and I just wanted to share that story with you guys. Thought it would be something sweet. We're also coming up on our 1 year married. So if you want to hear the story about how we won a free elopement package in Alaska as Floridians, I would be happy to share that on the podcast too. Just let me know. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I will see you on the next one. Bye.